Hey guys and gals, Misan here, and today I'll be reading something called For the Record. This is by Jennifer Aniston. Yes, that Jennifer Aniston, the beautiful actress from Friends who's won a Golden Globe, was nominated for a Golden Globe for that movie, Cake. She has had it, apparently, with the objectification of women by celebrity media. I'm reading this because it's funny that it seems that female celebrities are having their say, whether it be the quote unquote pay gap, which is basically actresses not having the guts to kind of ask for money that they feel like they deserve, feminism going on in Hollywood, now this, which is kind of a part of all of that. So let's begin. For the record, by Jennifer Aniston. I'm going in on this cold, by the way, so I'm interested in what she exactly has to say, just as much as you are. Let me start by saying that addressing gossip is something I have never done. I don't like to give energy to the business of lies, but I wanted to participate in a larger conversation that has already begun and needs to continue. Why does it need to continue? You said you don't like to participate in gossip, but you, you are. So, yeah. Anyway, since I am not on social media, I decided to put my thoughts here in writing. That's that's interesting. It's kind of funny because because she is who she is. Instead of just writing a regular blog like on WordPress like everybody else, she gets access to the Huffington Post. Yes, this is on the Huffington Post. I'll have a link to this article down below. For the record, I am not pregnant. What I am fed up is what I am is fed up. I'm fed up with the sport-like scrutiny and body shaming that occurs daily under the guise of journalism, the First Amendment, and celebrity news. I hate how people talk about body shaming. Who in the world has ever body shamed Jennifer Aniston? Most people think that she's one of the most beautiful actresses out there. I'm one of them. She's been praised for her looks for years. She started a whole new hairstyle with Friends. And this whole body shaming thing is ridiculous. No one. I'll get to that more later, but it's just funny. It feels like she's just getting on her soapbox here. It's kind of pretty obvious what she's doing, but let's continue. Every day, my husband and I are harassed by dozens of aggressive photographers staked outside our home who will willingly go to shocking lengths to obtain any kind of photo, even if it means endangering us to the unlucky pedestrians who happen to be nearby. Okay, that is true. That stuff is bullshit. I hate how paparazzis do that. I remember one time I was in Santa Monica, the Third Street Promenade, and I saw Jennifer Gardner getting on her car with her kids, and the paparazzi all surrounding her. I was like, man, that just sucks. That's ridiculous. That does suck. But setting aside the public safety aspect, I want to focus on the bigger picture of what this insane tablet ritual represents to all of us. If I am some kind of symbol to some people out there, then clearly I am an example of the lens through which we, as society, view our mothers, daughters, sisters, wives, female friends, and colleagues. The objectification and scrutiny we put women through is absurd and disturbing. Oh my gosh. I'll hold my comment after I read this part. The way I am portrayed by the media is simply a reflection of how we see and portray women in general, measured against some warped standard of beauty. Sometimes cultural standards just need a different perspective so we can see them for what they really are. A collective acceptance, a subconscious agreement. Look, if women being objectified, okay, I'll give you an example. Megan Fox. Is she objectified? Not as much as before, but hell yes. You know why? For one, like Jennifer Aniston, Megan Fox signed up as an actress. She was willing to, in Transformers, to wear those skinny shorts, those skinny jean shorts, show her tits off on camera because she's gonna get paid millions of dollars, become famous, and work as an actress. Jennifer Aniston was freaking a. She did. She was. What is it? That movie, We Are the Millers. She was a stripper. She danced on a pole. Yeah, women say objectified, but that's also in part due to women. If women weren't readily able to, I understand why they do it. By the way, I mean the ones that do it and make money off of them are smart. The ones that just go on Instagram and don't do it for money I don't get that. But The reason why society is objectifying women is because they take part of it. If they didn't do it, then it wouldn't be there. And first, and also to say that men aren't objectified is ridiculous. Maybe not as much as women, but I love what Richard Linklater once said. And when he was promoting that movie, he just made Everybody Wants Some. He was talking about how when he was playing baseball in college, how there was this girl who just loved how they looked in their outfits. She's like, okay, people say, oh, women get objectified, but don't you think that there are women who just wanted to be with us just because how we looked in our outfits? Athletes get objectified. Male celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio get objectified. That's a part of society. It's not just due to women, and this is not the 1950s. I'm sorry. Like, it's ridiculous. And to say it's a subconscious agreement, I mean, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But women are consciously doing these things where they're putting themselves up on the runway, putting themselves up as far as being models, putting themselves in movies where they'll do nude scenes, which there's nothing really wrong with that. But this is say that have a problem with when you're a part of the problem yourself and you're making money off of it. It's a little ridiculous. Anyway, we are in charge of our agreement. Little ghosts everywhere absorbing our agreement, passive and otherwise. Oh, one thing to add too. Danica Patrick. Look at her. I remember when she first came on the scene, what made her really famous was the fact that she was doing all these risque commercials. She ended up doing GoDaddy commercials, all these pictures. She was modeling for Sports Illustrated. That's what made her famous. Was when she became a sex symbol. And I remember she was like, "I want to be seen them more than a sex symbol." I'm like, "Girl, the reason you're famous is because you're a woman in racing and you're pretty attractive. And if it wasn't for that, based off of your results alone, you wouldn't be here anymore." You that's what women seem to want to be objectified to a point where they can make money off and make a living off of it. But after a while, they're like, I want to be taken seriously for me. But yeah, but if it wasn't for your looks, more than likely you wouldn't be. I'm not saying Jennifer Aniston's not talented, because she is, but especially with the vanity of Hollywood and the shallowness of Hollywood, her looks took her a long, 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 long way. A long way. So, I'll begin. We are in charge of our agreement. Like, little girls everywhere absorbing agreement, passive and otherwise, and it begins early. The message that girls are not pretty unless they are incredibly thin. Honestly, how many people really like super thin girls? I know for me, um, I like girls like Jennifer Lawrence is not super thin. I think she's super attractive. Um, Jennifer, not Aniston, Jennifer Lopez. All these Jennifers. Jennifer Lopez is considered one of the sexiest women out there. She's not super thin. She has an incredible body to this day. Oh man, there's a lot of women who aren't super thin, who I find attractive. Honestly, I don't like super thin women. So, come, yeah, I mean yes, they have these models on the runway who are like size twos, but I look at those and I'm like, no one really wants to fuck them. Excuse my French, but they're not exactly the standard for beauty. I don't know why these models do them. I don't know. I mean, not the models themselves, but the companies, the stock fashion companies have these models that way. They look like aliens, to be quite honest. That they're not worthy of our attention unless they look like a supermodel or an actress on the cover of the magazine is something we're willing to buy into. Well, it's because these actresses and supermodels do it. They get paid to do it, and they go up. They'll they'll starve themselves because they want that bread. You do it. This conditioning is something girls then carry into womanhood. We use celebrity news to perpetuate this humanizing views of females focused solely on one's physical appearance, which tabloids turn into a sporting event of speculation. Is she pregnant? Is she eating too much? Has she let herself go? Is her marriage on rocks because the camera detects on physical interaction? Okay. Look, that has nothing to do with objectification per se as far as the sexual aspect, because male celebrities get followed by the paparazzi too. It's not just like the Leonardo DiCaprio's either. Like freaking normal looking male celebrities. People who are famous in general are in that gossip column, and and what is with this dehumanizing of females? That is just ridiculous. Like it doesn't. I don't. I don't understand exactly what she's saying. She's saying that because women are viewed as sex symbols, that they're being dehumanized. They're being viewed as sex symbols because one, these women, including you, Jennifer Aniston, are freaking going up on camera. Because deep down, you know what works. Sex sells. People buy into things because of sex. That's how you got your career. Jennifer Lopez. I freaking saw this music video, which is insane. A bad song with Jennifer Lopez and Iggy Azalea. It's basically about how they have big asses. It was basically softcore porn. It's on YouTube. It's quite incredible. Go check it out. Just Google freaking Jennifer Lawrence, not Jennifer Lawrence. I'm sorry, Jennifer and Jennifer Lopez and Azalea. It's quite incredible. See, Jennifer Lopez, I respect. She knows what works, and she's not going to deny herself for that. It seems that Aniston wants to have her cake and eat it too. She doesn't want to be seen as a sex object, though. That's what most women get famous for. Like I mean, yeah, there are exceptions like Whoopi Goldberg, who, you know, she doesn't really act anymore though. She's extremely talented. She's extremely talented. Don't get me wrong. Academy Award winner, funny, but there's a few people out there. Like I mean, Gladys Knight can sing. Adele is not really a sex symbol because she can sing. It, if you're not a sex symbol as a woman, hell, even as a man to a certain extent, you better be fucking really, really talented or have some really high connects. And like I said, these tabloids aren't just because she's hot or that person's hot. Just, paparazzis go after people who are famous in general because people care. People for some reason care about this shit. They want to know about these celebrities. So it's not really much to do with women being objectified. You know, I used to tell myself that tabloids were like comic books, not to be taken seriously. That's a good way to think, Jennifer Aniston. Just a soap opera for people to follow when they need a distraction. That's what it is. But I really can't tell myself that anymore because the reality is the stalking and the objectification I've experienced firsthand going on decades now reflects the warped way we calculate a woman's worth. No, it doesn't. Look, I'll put it this way. Most women, when they look, I think she's a woman, obviously. She's looking at this from the female's perspective. Because, okay, women look at a dude like Leonardo DiCaprio and like, man, that's what I want. A guy like Johnny Depp or Chris Pine, Chris Evans, Brad Pitt, whatever, George Clooney, all the Denzel Washington, all those guys. They look at that guy and say, man, that's what I want in a man. So they project that into the men that are around them. Like, man, you aren't Leonardo DiCaprio. You don't look like him. You don't act like him. You're not as rich as him. Blah blah blah. With men, like I'll look at like Jennifer Aniston, Jennifer Lawrence, Jennifer Lopez. I promise you, I like other actresses and celebrities in Hollywood than Jennifer's. Like hell, like Katy Perry or something like that. I'll be like, man, they're hot. They're pretty cool. Christian Ritter, but it's not that I'm gonna like meet a woman and then go, "You're not Christian Ritter. You're not Jennifer Aniston. I don't want to talk to you." I'm not gonna like put them side by side. It's like how like, for example, like women will go to a concert and they'll like stalk like the rock stars. If I go to a Katy Perry concert, which I won't be going to, but if I went to one, and I'm not gonna stand aside going, "Oh, Katy Perry, Katy Perry, Katy Perry." It's different. It's different for men. We don't we don't freaking project that stuff that women do onto men. It doesn't calculate a woman's worth because we know they're different. A freaking Hollywood actress is gonna be different than a freaking normal girl. Like, come on, don't I don't know, man. This past month in particular has illuminated for me how much we define a woman's value based on her marital and maternal status. Okay. The sheer amount of resources being spent right now by the press trying to simply uncover whether or not I am pregnant for the bazillionth time, but who's counting, points to the perception of this notion that women are somehow incomplete, unsuccessful, aren't happy if they're not married with children. Well, there are studies that back that women who do work a lot, who don't have kids, who aren't married, like in like basically women who aren't like that classic housewife, even though there aren't a lot of those out there anymore, they do seem to be less happy than their male counterparts. So there's some truth to that. In this last born news cycle about my personal life, there have been mass shootings, wildfires, major decisions by the Supreme Court, an upcoming election, and any number of newsworthy issues that journalists could have dedicated their resources towards. I mean, they do. I'm not saying that they should follow your ass, but they do. And honestly, I haven't, until this came out, I didn't hear about this more. So you know what you're doing. I hope so. You're not. I don't think you're stupid. If either you're stupid, or you know exactly what you're doing. Because I hadn't heard about this shit until this came out. Until I saw it on my homepage by one of my laptop. Here's where I come out on this topic. We are complete with or without a mate. I agree. With or without a child. I agree. You go, girl. We get to decide for ourselves what is beautiful when it comes to our bodies. That decision is ours and ours alone. Let's make that decision for ourselves and for the young women in this world who look to us as examples. Amen. Let's make that decision consciously outside the tabloid noise. Amen. She's actually saying some truth here, guys and gals. We don't need to be married or mothers to be complete. I, yeah, I agree. But at the same time, like I said, studies have shown women who don't have kids, who aren't married, who work more and don't stay home, end up being unhappy. I mean, I'm not saying that just to be like a dick, but studies have shown that we get to determine our own happily ever after for ourselves. Amen. I have grown tired of being part of this narrative. Yes, I may become a mother someday. And since I'm laying it all out there, if I ever do, I will be the first to let you know. But I'm not in the pursuit of motherhood because I feel incomplete in some way, as our celebrity news culture would lead us all to believe. I resent being made to feel less than because my body is changing and slash or I have a burger for lunch and was photographed from a weird angle and therefore deemed one or two things pregnant or fat. Not to mention the awful, painful awkwardness that comes with being congratulated by friends, coworkers, and strangers alike on one's fictional pregnancy, often a dozen times in a single day. For years of experience, I have learned that about the tabloid practices, however dangerous, will not change, at least not anytime soon. What can change is our awareness in reaction to these toxic messages buried within these seemingly harmless stories, served up as truth and shaping our ideas of who we are. We get to decide how much we buy into what's being served up. And maybe someday, the tabloids will be forced to see the world through a different, more humanized lens because consumers have to just stop buying the bullshit. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Oh wow! I clicked on the one article. I'll just read. I said one article. I clicked on one comment. I'll just read one comment. It said, "Great article. As a married, child-free person, I can definitely relate to this one on some level. It's good for celebs. Thanks, Jen. Speak out." It's ridiculous. Like, honestly, she's throwing more fire onto this. Like, she knows what she's doing. Her whole spiel is. I'm not saying she's a feminist because I don't know, but her whole spiel is just going into this whole feminist bullshit that Hollywood is really perpetuating right now. She feels she's talking about objectification, and like I've said many times during this podcast, she's a part of the deal. Most women in Hollywood are a part of the deal. They're being objectified because they want to be objectified. It's paying their bills. It's making them famous. It's allowing them to get more work as actors and actresses. And men are objectified too. That's just kind of a part of the deal. When you become a famous celebrity, you're going to get attention. And I agreed with some of the stuff she said. Like that one part, one whole paragraph, she spoke some truths there. Like she spoke some serious truths. But at the same time, it's like I said, studies have shown women who are not married, who don't have kids, who work a lot of hours, seem to be unhappy or just not as happy as their male counterparts, or women who are married, who have kids, and don't work as much or stay at home. That's just the way the world works. And the thing with the female celebrities is that because they have a platform, like she can fucking get on the Huffington Post on the moment's notice because she's Jennifer Aniston. Now you have other women saying, "Look at her, what she's saying is right." People listen up to her, and it's ridiculous because now she's just putting flames some more bullshit. She's not like these stupid women on YouTube, like Lacey Green or some shit like that, or Jacqueline Glenn. when they come on, that's one thing. I mean, they're pretty famous, I guess, now, but they're still just YouTube celebrities, and they're not even that big when you think about it. But when you have someone like Jennifer Aniston, who everyone's watched, and most people like and are attracted to, it's another thing. You can't really compete with that. It's like when Emma Watson went up on the UN and talked about he for she and stuff like that. Like, it, it's just it's fueling so much fuel to the fire, and this is what's gonna keep making society go down and down. This is what's driving men into MGTOW. Not saying I'm a MGTOW, but this is what's driving the MGTOWs and the MRAs and all that shit. It's stuff like this. Women thinking like this. It's just kind of talk. I feel bad for Mr. Justin Theroux. I mean, he married a successful woman who's a hot piece of ass and talented, but man, if he has to deal with this whining, I mean, how long is that gonna last? Maybe that's what Brad Pitt's deal was. I'm just speculating here. Man. But that was the end of the article, and this is the end of the podcast. So if you want to read that article, I have the link. I have a link down below. If you like this video, please click the like button, hit that subscribe button, comment in the comments below, donate if you want to see this channel keep growing, and talk to you all next time. Later days.